Hey, it's Joe. Welcome to the Noble Strength Way of Life. As we continue our journey towards gaining strength over icky fudge statements. And today, we're going to come up with another common one. It goes like this. If only those people had treated me better, I would have been able to do so much more in my life. Now this one, I think you just need to, kind of plug in your own specific situation, as I will deliver a specific one of mine for an illustration. But before we go there, it's important you know one of John Maxwell's famous statements. The good opinions of others are none of our business. The good opinions of others are none of our business. Now I've modified that just a bit. I say the good opinions of others are many times none of our business. I think we should listen to everything. But those things that are with malice, with no good intent at all, we need to dismiss them right away. So as you listen to my story, please keep that in mind. When I was in the 4th grade, like all of my fellow students, I wanted to be a musician. The Beatles were big and music was a big thing. And in music class, unfortunately, we had about 40 students, but only 30 musical instruments to choose from. So not everyone could get one. The music teacher came up with an idea. He would give a written and oral test, and the top 30 scorers would receive an instrument. Fair enough. The test was taken. We all gathered in the music room. We sat in a big U shape, and we got ready for the results to be given to us. And the teacher read off from number 1 to number 30 the top students. And as each name was called, the students ran into the next room with enthusiasm to get their musical instrument. By now, I think you may have guessed I was not in the top 30. Myself and about 9 other students were sitting there quite dejected. Well, when the bell rang and it was time to leave, the music teacher called me back, and he said, Mr. Dwyer, can you please come over here? I'd like to speak with you. Well, in my optimism, I said, I must be getting an instrument. I must have been so close to number 30 that he is going to award me with a musical instrument. Why else would he be talking to me? And as he brought me to the corner of the room, I smiled, and he said to me, you are a disgrace to music. You are absolutely terrible. I have never seen anybody with less musical ability. You have 0 musical ability, and you never, ever will. Thank you. I mean, what do I say to that? But that's what he said to me. Now, as we move forward, it's important that you understand my first error as we uncover this icky fudge statement. I have told that story over and over and over and over again. I tell it to anybody who wants to hear it, and then some. I only told it today to make an illustrative point. But why would I tell that story over and over again? And can we relate to that? I mean, it's kind of like, think about the worst movie you've ever seen in your life, ever. And now sitting yourself down in front of the television and watching it for like 72 hours straight. Would you do that? Over and over and over, play a bad movie? But we seem to play these not nice situations over and over in our mind. We should not. So that brings me to our animal assistants. It's a donkey. A donkey. Now I love donkeys, I will tell you. I feel they are totally misunderstood, and they are. They are not stubborn at all. They are kind, generous, sentient beings. But this donkey was very old, lived on a farm, and worked for the farmer, and had no use to the farmer anymore because of his advanced age. So one day, the farmer, wondering what to do with this donkey, walked into his back property and saw that the donkey had fallen into a dry well. Couldn't get out. So the farmer had an idea. I could take care of 2 issues at once here. I could cover up the hole and do away with the donkey and get rid of that dry well all at the same time. He asked his friends to come over, which they did, and they all took shovels and they all started to shovel dirt on top of the donkey. Terrible. And the donkey knew what was going on and he cried out, crying. They continued to shovel. But then the donkey had an idea. All of a sudden he started to shake the dirt off of his back. And it fell to his feet. And as each shovel load, he started to step up on top of the dirt that started to rise under his feet. And when the donkey got to the top of the well, he took off. And as the story goes, he sought refuge elsewhere and stayed there. What does this donkey teach us about this icky fudge statement? First and foremost, the donkey absolutely helps my first point. He takes off and apparently seeks refuge elsewhere, and to our knowledge doesn't tell the story ever again. But he also shakes the dirt off of his back, and he uses it as a stepping stone to his better life, as should we. And in addition, let me add one other thing. I had another teacher. He was my 10th grade English teacher, Mr. Ryan. And Mr. Ryan absolutely had total faith in me that I would be a professional speaker one day. In the 10th grade, we had to do a 10-minute speech. I was never so nervous in my life. But with Mr. Ryan's confidence, coaching, and encouragement, I did very well. And he told me I could actually do this one day. The strength behind this whole story? First, act like the donkey did. Secondly, don't tell the stories over and over and over again. And finally, I think we all have a positive story like my Mr. Ryan story, where I did become a motivational speaker after all, that we could tell that story more often. And there, my friends, is our strength over this icky fudge statement of if those people had only treated me better. We have our strength. We've conquered icky fudge again, and we'll do so again next week. However, have a little bit more respect and kindness to the donkeys of this world. They're kind, they're smart, and they motivate us. Let's make this a nicer world for animals and people. Follow me at noblestrength.life. See you next week. Take care.